Welcome to Chats Around the Kitchen Table. Harriet, Pippa and Julie will be sharing honest conversations about life, spirituality and whatever wants to be spoken today. We'll be talking about what we do and love amongst the realms of spirituality, life and truth. One common intention to share what has helped us along our path in living a healthier, happier and more fulfilling life. Welcome. Well, there we go. We think that's worked.
Welcome.
No idea, having not pressed record.
I think we've got some hearts on our Facebook.
Oh, hello everybody. Yeah, so it's definitely recording. We haven't got our tech man today, so this was all left up in the air, but we think we're doing it, so...
Of course we do.
Of course we will. It says stop recording, so it must mean it is recording.
Perfect.
So we poured the
Easy.
tea
Yeah.
and we are about to pull a arrow.
And I got, I love my dog. Yeah, dog mad.
Pick me.
What have you got on yours? Pick
me.
There's a load of different fruits. Passion fruits and all sorts. Aha, interesting one. I think, well, all three of us, when we do card readings, I tend to go, as I'm pulling the cards because I know what they already mean. Interesting. Oh. So if anyone on my tarot
Deep in breath from Pip.
course says, oh, that's a nice card, so I'll fine you 50p. Because if you're doing a reading for someone and you say, oh, that's a nice card, it means absolutely nothing. So I, lady the other day on the course, I must admit she had over about £5 come the end of the morning because she kept saying it. Anyway, do you want to tell us what your card
So I have picked the Ten of Swords.
And I could probably hold it here, maybe just so you can see it, and then Pippa's going to put it on the stand. You need to look at it while you talk?
Yes,
It helps.
so Swords is about thoughts and 10 is completion of the 0 to 10 of this Swords thing. I'm being slow in saying what I think it means because it's...
That's all right, you explore one way.
Well, it's about, for me this is about I've done enough thinking about this particular thing.
Yes.
And it's time to, like, there's no more thinking that I need to do or can be done. I've just completed a 4-day coaching course, which has come on the back of many years of coaching experience, but not actually coaching.
All right.
So here we go.
Uh-huh.
That's what I don't
So
know.
that's a very short version of what your course is that will...
Yeah, do you want to add what you think that is?
So, yeah, I
Because
just
we
think-
have had an initial chat this morning,
Yeah.
so I'm sure you can give me a little reading that will help me.
So I just think what I think the card actually means is about all your worries are lifting, because I think the swords, and a lot of spreads have swords in them, and I think that is, people do, your brain is the thing that churns us round the most. That is certainly for me. Yep, that's good. That's in there. Yeah. So I just think it means it could be worries, but you're right. It's thoughts are lifted, and if you've had a heavy time, that's like now you can just let that go for a bit. Because do you think you're an overthinker, Harriet?
Oh well, I don't know. What do you think? We're all mirrors for each
Well,
other.
yes.
Well, I think I'm an overthinker, but I also think that I've spent a lot of my life thinking that I don't know enough.
Okay.
I was told, bless him, my brother has apologised, so there's no bad, but for many years when I was a kid, I was stupid, according to him, and I took that on.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been course after course, lots and lots of learning to, make up for that, but it's not true.
Thing is,
It's just something I picked up.
it's something you picked up as a program, isn't it? But what would be your measure of when you become clever enough? That's the thing, isn't it? It'd only ever be by your own measure, wouldn't it?
And I think I have got that ability to think. It does work for me, but it's not the only thing that I like to use. I like to also use my intuition.
Yeah.
So, and I think, so I've done enough thinking.
Because I don't know what do you think the word ruminate means? Because I don't want to
Go round in circles.
Because I suppose I would say I feel that's what you do sometimes,
Well,
and
I've
it's not
got
as
to
a
be
criticism,
sure.
but
I've got to
yeah.
be sure.
So there's got to be sure. Whereas
I've got to be sure that that it's in that my heart is in it. Otherwise, I'm not sure.
Well, and I think that's a good measure. I'm a bit like I jump over the cliff and then see where I land, and that's my measure. It doesn't mean I'm right and you're wrong the other way round, does it? But and I appreciate sometimes you do like to think about something longer, and I'm fine with that. But it's just, you know, I think you could do it quicker for you.
Yeah, so 10 out of 10 on the thinking. Let's leave that.
Can I add?
Yes. Do, please.
So just off the back, a little bit of the conversation
Pippa's
that we
very
had.
halo.
Duck out of the light.
That's all right.
I think that this is about the awareness that you've created through doing this course, and I think when I look at that card for you, see the sunrise.
Yes.
See the sunrise.
Yeah,
that's your
golden
awareness coming up of all of those patterns that you spoke about. So therefore, you are now in a position where you spot them coming up. So this is a change. This is a completion of how you would usually approach something, because now you have the awareness, you will approach things in a different way.
I love that.
We'll
you
manifest
taught her well,
that.
didn't you?
I did
You
teach
did
her.
teach her
Well,
very
actually,
well.
I'll give Pippa her own credit. I mean, we're doing from the Chris Anne cards, and I too have the manual that I had from doing those cards. But I think you've taken on more of that, and I think that comes from your daily messages you send out in your group. And I always read them, and I think you have a definite different slant on some of the cards, which I think is always good.
I think when I read, I tend to associate it with more, rather than, I think when you learn what the card means.
Yeah, mirror signal manoeuvre. Yeah.
And then when you start to read, you start to interpret the cards differently. And I now interpret the cards in line with the energy. Like when I work with moon cycles, I link them into, okay, so what's going on at the moment, and how is this relevant, and how is it relevant for the group? As well. So
and I think
tie
that's what makes you
together.
unique. And then anything that anyone does, if you have a uniqueness, that's what draws someone to you or me or you, and that's good. Yeah, cool. I like that. So that's good. You're moving forward with free of thoughts. Go on then. Pip, do you want to do yours? Yeah. Okay. So do you want me to hold it first so we can see it? This is like Blue Peter, isn't it? Here's one we made earlier.
Knight of Pentacles. I feel like this is very relevant at the moment. See, for me, like knowing what I put in my moon circle group this morning, moon mornings, not moon circle, it's not circle.
Moon.
It's moon mornings. Venus has now moved into Taurus, and Taurus is all about what are you planting?
Okay.
What are you grounding into? And the Knight is bringing me a message of, look at all these lovely things.
Yeah.
And that is so true at the moment. And I do think that everything that has happened over the last couple of weeks in particular, I think things that I thought I would be focusing on this year, maybe I'm not. So I still am focusing on those things, but I've definitely been given these lovely little discs that are on this card, which are like, oh yeah, but don't forget, there's this and there's this. So I had a retreat day on Saturday. On Sunday, all of these things kind of lined up for me, and I was like, okay, I didn't expect to be putting my energy there, but it seems that I am.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So everything's coming in. I know April's going to be a big energy month. I know it's... So I'm taking a deep breath. I'm going with the flow and just seeing where it takes me, because, I think it's about noticing the signs, noticing the things lining up. And
we'll pass it over there. So I always think the special element of the night is that it brings a message, and we often think of that as money, because people always think they want money. This is like general readings, but that is about their energies, and it's about where are you putting your energy. I'll let you put that in place there. But
that card's
how does that speak to you?
The Knight of Pentacles is, for me, is always about the method, like you know, finding something that works for you in the world and perfecting and repeating and using that method, and the path appears. That's how I see it. So you're talking about, I wasn't expecting it to go there, but the path appears as you go.
Yeah. And the night is always about that, the youthful figure, isn't it? The page and the night, that feeling youthful, and maybe that's giving you some extra energy to carry forward.
Yeah, it's definitely new.
Good.
Yeah.
Oh, exciting. So I have the Four of Cups. I can't see where I'm putting it there. So the Four of Cups. So this is interesting because I always think Four's all about stability and Cups is about flow and things I love. I love this card because she's looking a bit fed up holding one of these cups. Now I always think, well, actually someone else is offering it to her. I never noticed the other hand before. You see something different every time you look at these. Yeah. But I always think the Four of Cups is sometimes you're too busy looking ahead to miss what's beside you, or you're too busy concentrating on the now to miss what's coming. I don't know really, I just think I'm looking forward at all this stuff that is coming that I'm going to love, but I don't know, what do you think?
Usually this card for me is about missing the obvious.
Okay.
And it's sort of hiding in plain sight, 'cause it's right there, and like you said, she does look a bit sort of naffed off.
Yeah.
Despondent.
Yes. When is it coming, sort of thing, yeah.
It's just about focus. Like the focus is on, I haven't got it, or like, because 4 is stability, like you say.
Yeah.
And 3 is stacked over here, so you need the 4th for stability, and you're like, where is it? Why haven't I got it? And it's right there in multicolour.
Yeah. So how do you think that relates to me though at the moment? You think?
I think that might be something to do with Fairhaven.
Oh yes.
If you want to go there.
That, yes. Yeah.
That, you've got this fabulous opportunity that has arisen, and it'll bring you a lot of flow and a lot of. So maybe it's simpler than you think.
Maybe it is simpler than I think.
I don't know. Pip.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the rainbow is the things that are coming. Fairhaven.
That's funny because I've never really noticed that as a rainbow. Everyone spots things. I think I read cards so quickly, I just read them. I don't necessarily always look at them, but when we do one.
And maybe not even just Fairhaven, because you have your new course.
Yes.
Few new courses coming up as well. So but I see this as all of these things you love, but your energy's not it's like, I know that that's there and I really want to put my energy in the new stuff. Yeah. And I've got all this stuff, but what do I do with this stuff? What do I do with it? And it's making you feel a bit like, I don't know what to do with it.
Well, it's very exciting. I mean, we could just mention it, should we?
Yeah, mention it. Let's do it.
So, pop that over there. So my move to Ranworth, if I get my words out, I wasn't too sure why that happened. Had no idea.
I know what happened. Because your landlord told you had to move.
Oh yes, well that was the basis of it. But then why Ranworth came about, I don't really know. And I love there, and I love being by the water. That's all about flow, isn't it? And then by a chance meeting, my landlord spoke to someone at Fairhaven who was looking to expand their well-being. He said, I have a tenant who does that. And then he approached me, would I like to be introduced? And I said yes. So thing is though, Harriet has been there, is it 2 or 3 years you've done the Gong Baths there?
Stacey and I did it the first summer after you trained us in the Gong, so it could be 3 years.
Getting on for 3 years.
I think it's 3 years. I did 2 with Stacey.
Yes. And then
one with Karen.
Karen said she'd be done it for 2 years. I was a bit curious
maybe
about
I've
that.
done it for 4
That's what
years.
I was a bit curious about that. But
4
anyway,
years.
So there have been Gong Baths at Fairhaven, but mainly in the field at the front, and Harriet's hired the field or rented the field and done it like that. But Fairhaven want to take it to the Glade, which is a beautiful area right inside it, and you have done one there, haven't you? And that was something a bit different.
We did one because they had an open air theatre thing going on in the car park, so it was rather by default, but they then I'd already booked the date, so then they said go to the Glade, and it was magical because you have to go round the back of the Broad and go up this private. I probably shouldn't say, should I?
No, that's all right. Well,
locked gate, brick cloak and dagger, and then you get to the Glade and there's gorgeous trees, and it was on it. I think it was one of my favourite. I think it is my favourite ever Gong Bath I've ever done.
So we're bringing Gong Baths there. So Harriet and I can do the Gong Baths. There's sort of like continuity from you doing them before. And so the one thing that I was a bit concerned about with Fairhaven. They have an entry fee to get in, and I did sort of allude this to you, and they were going to charge for the Gong Bath and the entry fee, but I just think, not that I think it's not worth that, but we had a Gong Bath and there was a lady there who brought along her sister, and she's on holiday. Well, no way is she going to be a member if that was the case, because she just came along with her sister. Anyway, Fairhaven have decided that there's just going to be the price of the Gong Bath, so that's exciting for us. But Pippa and I are going to do drumming circles, a meditation walk evening and a mindfulness evening. So we've got those. So it's going to be like a 4-week rolling programme. Yeah, we're going to see how it goes. So it'll be a drumming circle, and we're going to pick the drums up from the car park, or the I don't know what you call it, the tea room, and walk through to the glade with the drums.
It's a
beautiful
really
place.
beautiful place, and what's always struck me is it's kind of under-marketed, as it were.
Well, there's new people in there, and I think that's always a good thing, fresh eyes. And the guy Ian who showed us round, he said he'd been
there 6 weeks.
He loved his job, didn't he? And he was looking where we could do all these new things. That's that fresh eyes, isn't it? So very exciting. It starts in May the 6th, I think, is the first one. So
I really see it as, for all of us, as things coming together. Even from us doing our Reiki and sound baths, literally round the corner.
Oh yes.
And it's like, I feel like all of these things is like, go this way, move nearer the water, and the water connection as well. So it's like we're moving closer to the water, and all of these things, all these threads are being pulled and come together. Because
they've said that we're going to do them on a night when you can swim in them.
Yes, the swimming is there as well.
And we're starting at 7:30, so you can. And it is reasonable to join for this season.
Oh yeah, you can do a 6-month membership. Yeah.
So make sure your 6 months starts when you want to get in the water, and it'll take you to September when they start.
Do you know how much that is?
So it's not.
So I've just joined a whole year, and it was £50, £49.50. So that was for the whole year. And I think it's not that much less. I think it's probably £38, something like that. I should know these things. Yeah. But for me, I've always had my thoughts. I wanted to run a retreat, but to actually manage a big house, I thought was too much for me. And as much as I love Sco Ruston and doing the retreats there, plus my husband doesn't really want to live in a house with other people in it, and I sort of get that because he'd be the one tidying up all the time. So in a way, everything's coming together, because I hope to sell crystals in their little shop, and I can do the workshops there, perhaps whole fairs there. They haven't got an indoor space yet, but they're planning for that. And it's like everything's coming together that I ever wanted, really. But of course there'll always be more, because you never stop. But that's our new thing, isn't it, what we're doing. So that's
you can have a guy going down there with a sauna box.
Oh yes, there is. I can't think of his name. So I met him at a day at Cromer, when they had like the business people come along and talk to you. And I said to him, about chatting about that is a really good thing, because I think you'd just had your sauna done at that point. Or yours isn't mobile, yours is stationary, but it's in a horse box. So I'm really happy to see. I think his name's Adam. Really happy to see that he's progressing
so much opportunity down there. As soon as I'd walked around, I was like,
wow, it's good, isn't it?
She mentioned putting hammocks.
Yeah, we're going to have hammock bean bags. Yeah. And then we're hoping in the winter months to add a bit of continuity. We're going to be able to use the tea room.
It's a big
probably
space.
Not for the Gong Bath, sadly.
No, but it's a big
But we could
space.
continue with other things, because you don't want people to just get into their well-being and then all of a sudden, like in school holidays, often everything stops, and we want to sort of try and carry that on. But awesome. There we go. So that's that. 4 of Cups. There we are.
Shall we pick one for our audience?
One for today. Oh, one for the audience. Yes. Isn't that funny?
I haven't cheated.
Isn't that funny? Because that was the one that
you
picked
first card
when you first started.
Oh, I'm very happy, because you can show me.
So this one, I was thinking of my lovely daughter in Australia with her surfboard looking out. So I always refer back to the ride away, and that is, I think, watching your golden ship come in. But a lot of people have not heard of that phrase, but for me, it's like everything I ever wanted is coming in. So this is like
everything coming good.
Getting on your surfboard and going, and there's the 3. What do you think? What do you think about that?
I do. I think it's very much, feel the wind in your hair.
Oh yes.
Recognise your 3 flames, the 3 flames sitting around the table, our joint passion, and come and join us with any of these things.
What's that little bit there? Is that a something? Oh, it's just
the flowers. And she's very much looking out looking out to see her horizon
I literally have a picture of my daughter Sophie doing that. Someone's taken a picture and that is literally what she's doing. I'm just looking to see when the next wave comes.
I think as we chose this for the audience as well, I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people that I've been speaking to over the last few weeks, this is what's happening. Things are like new opportunities, new possibilities are coming up on the horizon for people, and they're like, oh, I'm going to go and try this, or I'm going to or travelling. All of these things are.
And can you tie that in with your astrology that's going on right now?
Oh gosh, well,
I'll give you a moment.
This is a good element that you bring in, and also with the meditations that we're going to do at Fairhaven, I know that you've got some good ideas for bringing on different things that I don't know about. That's what it's all about, is our collaboration.
It absolutely ties in, because we've just had, obviously, spring equinoxes, new beginnings. Yes. We had a new moon 2 days before the spring equinox as well, so it's like, okay, so think about, and it was a Pisces new moon, so it's very much about what do you want to create from your inner world that will reflect in your outer world. And then we had the spring equinox, which came and gave that extra energy, and I've really felt that. I feel like I'm quietly juggling stuff, like trying not to kick my legs too hard onto the surface. But we have a full moon on the 2nd of April.
Okay, so that's
Thursday.
Yeah.
So that's a Libra full moon. Thank goodness.
That's what balance is that then? About Libra? That's me, balance. I'm Libra.
And I think what it's going to do is it's going to, where all of these things are coming in, it's going to create a balance to say what's important.
Yeah.
And where are you giving and where are you receiving as well, and how much of that is in balance.
So I've got a question about that, because I have to say I know nothing about any of it. How do you know it's moon rising and Pisces? How do you know this?
Oh, because it will be where the moon. So if you imagine you divide
I don't think I'm making it up, but I'm just wondering.
The moon is in that segment.
Okay. So it's like ancient stuff.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah.
It's like a map. So if you were to look at an astrology chart, each of the segments, the 12 signs are segments, so it's where the moon sits within that segment.
Where the moon is in the sky then?
Where the moon is in the sky, and also what we can see of it. So it will be a new moon, because we won't be able to see it at all because of the placement of the earth. So a new moon is dark.
And does it matter where you are on the planet then?
It's opposite in the southern hemisphere.
They have
opposite energies then, would that be?
Because now they're in autumn now, aren't they? Where we've just moved into spring. So
So do they have different astrology readings?
All the astrologers that I follow state very clearly that they are working to this hemisphere
A bit like when we did that day here though about your year of birth. She said depending where you were born, that would affect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so when even when you do a personal birth chart, you put where you were born and at what time, and that is your blueprint. That would have
an effect, yeah.
I'm going to be completely honest here. I'm going to say I used to really struggle with the whole astrology thing because it was putting the power outside of me. But since working with you in the cold dips and listening to you, and thinking about it, did you hear that? Now I see it very differently, because I see that like the earth is I'm bringing my science, the earth is a big blob mass, and all the planets and all the stars are also big, and we are subject to their gravity. We've got this field around us, and our electromagnetic field is affected. Is that what they talk about going on?
Yeah, so whenever, I think the easiest way I explain it to people, if they don't know anything about it, we're working with the moon, I always think, well, we know and we trust that the moon controls the tides. And
probably most people would know that, wouldn't they? Yeah.
And the moon, the sea is an immense, vast amount of water. So if you consider that, and we all take that as like, yeah, that happens, and then we consider that we are 70% water, would it not just be weird if it didn't affect the water within us? Yeah. Would it just be weird? Because like, are we really that separate to? Yeah. And actually,
people do feel different moods depending on the moon, and I know like school teachers are saying, oh, it's a full moon, the kids will all be going crazy today, you know, because they get high energy.
Extra midwives are put on in hospitals.
Lunatics.
Extra
well,
police.
Lunatic is the lunatic.
Yeah. Extra police are always put on around a full moon, so it isn't.
So it's not just us.
It's not as woo woo as you think.
No. It's not about being woo woo. It's about it. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a thing.
And when you work,
that's just what I was looking down there. Yeah.
And when you're working with it
helps you understand what's going on in your life a bit more, and it helps you plan when would be an opportune time to do things.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, things come up where
so
it's
you're
like
working with it.
Maybe don't sign contracts at the moment. Things like that come up, you know, or like just pause for a minute before you say yes to something. Yeah. So all of these little things, and they may be relevant to you and they may not, but if they are, isn't that just helpful? And then does it matter?
I think that's not, knowledge is sort of power in that way, and I suppose like you didn't, I didn't understand it. And to be fair, when I've had my chart done, the lady who read it out, and no disrespect to her, she said moon rising, this, that, and the other, and I had no clue about any of it. And literally, I switched off.
There is so much.
I think the rule is if you read a book and there's 6 out of 10 words you don't understand, you close the book. I think you have to understand. And she couldn't explain it to me in a way that meant anything to me. And I think you're right. You explaining it differently doesn't sound overwhelming because you're not trying to tell the whole picture, you're just saying it how it affects us.
I am not an astrologer. It's a passion that I follow. So I would always explain at a level that I understand it.
Yeah. That's the best way, isn't it? Make it simple, isn't it? That's the best way. Yeah.
But also coming to those cold dips and being open, like stopping the kind of attitude, this doesn't apply to me. Stopping that and just being open and I noticed that what you were saying did have correlation with what was going on in my life, and it did sort of, that has happened. You know, so
we all like evidence, I think, don't we? So if we have evidence based, like you think, that's been made an effect, that sort of makes it more real.
We see, as humans, I feel like we see ourselves as being very separate.
Very separate.
But actually...
and very special and very cursed and very this is wrong with me, that's wrong with me.
But we are actually, we're not only a part of the earth, we are a part of the universe and everything.
It's a bigger picture, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like, it's seeing how everything is connected and it's,
Because animals don't understand this stuff, they've never been told it, but I know my dogs behave differently depending on what's going on, and I don't even know what's going on, but I'm aware that when it's really windy, and I'm sure that's to do with something, they go crazy.
I think we are aware, and I think you can tune into it, but I think we've been trained and conditioned to think and prize thinking above everything else.
Yes.
Hence my 10 of swords.
Oh my God,
anyway, we've very beautifully segued without even trying to into what you brought for us to talk about today.
The other week, I forget when, I'm saying we had our retreat because Harriet was our amazing chef and Jae and I facilitated it, and it was called Soul Awakening. And we had a lovely group of 6 people, and as I said at the time, we would have liked more people who wouldn't, but actually the 6 gelled really well. And I think sometimes, you just have to think that was why, because there was a lot to learn there. But one piece of information that I brought to the table, which I quite liked. So I love Mike Dooley, I follow him quite a lot. And in his book, The Great Awakening, he has in there, I don't know how many chapters it is, but this was the last chapter. He has different chapters in there of people who have channeled stuff. And I listened to it all because Pippa got me into audiobooks. And it's just easier when you're walking to listen. But this particular chapter about the 5 laws of creation, I must have re-listened and re-listened because I just absolutely loved it and could really associate with it. So the guy who is the channel is a guy called Derek Akar, I think. I've got a tickle.
I think you said Darren.
Darren or Daryl Akar. Shame that I didn't look at it, but I do. But he channels a future being, so you can make from that whatever you want, but I love that concept of it because I quite into beings. Thank you, Pippa. Have another full mad dog. But he literally said, if you follow these 5 laws, it was like a manual for life. I thought, that's interesting. A bit like when you know about the moons, you could decide to not sign a contract, whatever. What if you understood this? And I was quite proud of my little diagrams that I managed to do.
You're going to show them?
Oh, will you be able to? Oh, I've got loads of other information on there. So...
Was that with your brilliant assistant?
With my assistant, Canva AI.
Your new best friend.
I don't know where it looks, so there you go, it says it on there, but I mean, I can always put it up for people to look at, I'm not precious about it. So the 5 laws of creation is 1 is you exist, 2 is everything is here and now, 3 the one is all and the all are the one, 4 what you put out is what you get back, and 5 everything changes except the first 4 laws, which is what of course I absolutely loved.
Just before we get into this, can I ask, or maybe I'm just reflecting on the fact that we all love to make sense of the world. I think the 3 of us have that in common. Like we're forever curious, forever looking at models that help make it all make sense. Not to fit it in boxes, but just because we are, I don't know, enthralled with the mystery. The mystery, you love the mystery, and you kind of, I love the mystery, and I kind of accept that I'm never, like, it's not to be understood, it's to be experienced.
Yes, definitely an experience is right.
So, but I have spent so long, and it's almost like a hobby.
Yeah.
You know, I love to kind of like read what other people think about how it works.
Yeah.
But the whole point is not to know how it works.
Well, well, the thing is, there's not one defining answer to that, because we all think differently, and even though we've got a commonality, we don't agree with everything. We don't disagree either. And I think that's the great thing. You know, we are allowed to challenge, and so we laugh about ChatGPT. So I went on a AI course, and the guy was amazing. And again, I can't remember his name. But he said the greatest power about AI is understanding how it works. So if you understand how it works, that is the power. But thinking it's a Google tool or just for creativity is not true. And for me, it saves hours of research. And I could go into that, but we'll talk about that time. So about these exist. So
law number 1.
Law number 1 is the explanation. The first law states that your existence is fundamental. You are here and your presence has meaning. I don't know that we could disagree with that, because we are here.
A lot of people spend a lot of time arguing just with that, with the fact that they exist, wanting it to be otherwise. No, it is the way it is. You exist.
And I suppose at the retreat I then challenged people. I mean, there's 4 questions here. But one of the questions was, when do you feel most aware of being fully alive? And we had the pleasure of an amazing lady, and I'm sure I should mention her, Kinyi, who comes to do lots of our things. She sort of summed it all up as when she's in community. And she said that when she's working with her staff, she doesn't even have to ask them to do anything, they just know. Because they're all just existing in that moment when they're helping people. That comes into
one of your laws later on.
Oh, yeah.
But if we stick with, let's just stick with...
So when do you feel most fully alive? Now, for me, I can answer that. That's when I'm teaching. I absolutely love it. I love to see that aha moment with somebody when they get what I'm trying to share with them, and then they experience, especially the Reiki, when they go, oh, the magic, they can feel it. That's when I feel really alive.
So that's connection.
What about you, Harriet? When do you feel?
I can't remember what I said. I do remember really enjoying this part of your retreat. When do I feel most alive? I feel most alive when I'm fully absorbed in whatever I'm doing. So it could be walking in nature, it could be laughing with someone, it could be eye contact, it could be anything. But there's no awareness of me.
Oh yeah.
I am fully involved, fully engaged. I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm in it.
Yeah. And that is that present moment thing, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm present, and
Are you able to answer that? Just throwing it at you. When do you think you feel most fully alive?
I think when I'm in cold water.
Wow.
Because at that moment I feel like I am completely connected to myself, but also to everything around me. So I will just, I was thinking it's almost like I'm in this bubble, this isolation tank where all I can acknowledge is being here.
Yeah, and how you feel in that moment.
Yeah.
Because it was Pippa who got me into my cold dip, yeah. And the funny thing was we had a power cut last night, so the power went off, so I had to re-put my chiller on. And initially it said 6.5. This is the mind and the ego you were telling me to be aware of. I thought, ooh, that's going to be cold. But then because by the time it set back in, it was actually 8.8. I didn't mind that. But you're right, when you get in, it's that I don't want to do it, putting it off, get in, and that's that.
Yeah. It's a total reset.
It is a reset, yeah. So for me, it's non-negotiable every day I get in mine, but yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah. But it is, you're right, it's been in the moment, I think, is when you know when you're existing, isn't it? Yeah. So law 2 is everything is here and now. The principle suggests that all possibilities exist in the present moment and our awareness determines what we experienced. Life is always experienced in the present moment, which is what we've just talked about. So again, the reflection prompts, what one should we pick? What pulls your attention away from the present moment? Well, for me, it's that mobile phone. So I've turned all my notifications off on my mobile phone. I have to go into the apps to look. I don't want beeping because literally that will take me out and then I'm not concentrating. That's my terrible thing. What do you think about that one?
This law for me is about we can be in the past, we can be thinking, we can be living an alternative version in our heads, what's going on. We can be in the future worrying about the what ifs, but the only time that really exists is now. And that great film, what was it called? Everything All at Once.
Oh yeah.
Remember that one? She ran I can't remember what it's called. Everything All at Once. Anyway, yeah, the only thing, everything exists now, and you can either be in the past or you can be in the future, or you can choose to be just.
And that's normally in our minds we do that, don't we? We think about things from the past, don't we?
Yeah, good old thinking. Ten of Swords coming up. It gets a very bad rap.
But I think
that intellect is important, but it's not.
I think what people forget is that when you talk about something from the past, it becomes in the now. So that's that memories from the past.
Yeah, that's why everything's only
in
now.
the now. But your mind doesn't actually know if it's happening now or happened, because it doesn't have tenses, does it? I think that's the thing. Because one lady at the retreat, so she kept referring, whatever she said, then she said, but in the past. And I said to her, try not to add the but. There's no buts.
Well, it's actually a fairly scary thing if you think the past is over. And Peter Crone is great at saying it happened the way it happened because it happened that way. It didn't happen any other way. So why do you keep going over the fact that it could have been different? It wasn't different.
It wasn't.
So let it go. And then it's like, if the past is over, you've got nothing to reference to. Nothing.
Yeah. So then you can just be in the now.
Present and be in the now.
And you can go the other way as well, where you're imagining stories because this is happening now, that means that this and this is obviously going to happen, and many people just make assumptions. And like I my retreat on Saturday, I said to a few people, a favourite phrase of mine is that true? Yeah. Is that actually true?
Is it a fact or is it a story? Yeah.
Because, I think one lady has said that she found it quite tricky to be present, and as soon as she lies down, her head starts immediately. And she said, but I consciously, like, my intention was to let go of that, and it really works for her. And I was like, so so you've removed the stories that you have. Well, obviously, when I lie down, this and this is going to happen. She said, because that's what always happens. Right. I was like, but is it happening? Is it actually happening? And like checking in with yourself. Yeah. And going, okay, but what is actually happening?
That becomes the story, doesn't it? That you tell people, I can't meditate because when I do, my mind goes off. Yeah, but that might have happened once. Does it happen all the time?
And what's happening now?
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
So stories are the things.
Stories, so everything is
stories are the forwards. I suppose stories about the past as well, because they're all very subjective as well.
But like you say, human nature loves a story. That's what half of our lives depend on. And I think we get used to chit-chatting with friends, and that's fine. But I suppose it's about when you want to do the work on yourself, it's about what is your truth, isn't it? Yeah. So the next law, the one is the all and the all are the one, which I found that really fascinating. So this law points to interconnectedness, that everything is part of a greater whole, which is exactly what we've been saying, like the water. So again, I don't know if you want to have a question or your reflection on that. You're quite good at just thinking about what you thought.
Well, you mentioned water, so my way of understanding, my take on this one is, we're all the ocean, so you can go to the ocean and take a cup of the ocean, and there you are, we're all these individual drops of the ocean, but everything that we are is also the ocean, and the ocean is us. So we are the universe, and the universe is us. And that phrase blows my mind. I mean, I could ruminate about that all day long. You know, the puzzle is only complete because it has all the pieces. So all of us are needed.
Yes.
All of us are connected, and we are the puzzle together, including the animals and the nature. We're not. It's everything. And the planets and the universe and that.
Yeah.
I mean, that is...
It's mind-blowing.
It is. Mind-blowing.
That to me also... So something I was just listening to yesterday, and they talked about how your inner world, you create your world. So what's going on inside you is then reflected on what you perceive around you.
I think that comes in our next law.
Okay.
But that's
I'm jumping ahead.
That's all right.
But it's just that because we are one, because we are creating our world.
And I think the other thing that comes out of that law that's really, that we all love, is the fact that you were talking about inner world. If we're the universe, they're the laws of creation.
They
right?
are, yes.
So that means we're creators. We are the creators. And there's a part of us that, is connected to some source of it all. And that's where the spirituality comes.
And I think what you're referring to is perception. So one of the things that the guy said that I loved, so we always say the sun rises, but we know that isn't actually true, is it? The planets are rotating, but our romantic vision is the sun rises. So if you think that the sun rises, that's fine, but it's not actually true, is it? It's the planets rotate and the sun, then you can see it. So the perception is what we then run through our filters, isn't it? About what world we think we're in, but actually we are all one,
So what was our reflective question? I think this is the community one.
The community, well, I mean, how might your actions change if you saw others as part of the same larger whole? And I guess it's about finding your tribe, that one, isn't it? And we were talking the other day about going out somewhere, and the fact something ended at 10, great, because I can be home early. I no longer want to be out till 3, 4 in the morning, but that's your change of how you want things, and it is about spending time with people that you choose to spend time with. I suppose that's part of that, and maybe that does influence my thoughts, but is that a bad thing, to spend time with people that you actually value?
No.
Who is any group that I host, or like when we have people here for Cold Dip, I always say that the people who are around the table, we're all learning from each other. It's not about
mirrors,
me.
Aren't we?
It's not about me just going, well, obviously it's this and this, because people bring things up, and then the conversation. So it's that recognising and finding out different things about yourself because of the community that you're in. And it's not that it wasn't there before. You've just discovered it.
It's the mirroring and the reflecting back in the project, and it's all of that we do to each other as well, isn't it? Which is the perception bit, helps us experience ourselves in different ways.
Because the part before the laws was about our obvious needs, and it's air, water, sleep and food. They're the obvious ones. But then shelter, we like somewhere to live. But connection, that's the biggest thing. We need connection with other people. So you survive on all the other things, but if you don't have people that you get on with, you eventually go crazy.
very obvious through COVID,
yes,
it? When
that
people
lack
couldn't.
of connectiveness.
Yeah.
And they say that baby, and the last one's creativity,
passion.
That one up.
Yeah, you've got to do what you love, and that's what really makes your world fly, doesn't it?
That there are research studies that show that babies that don't get touched actually die.
Oh, really?
Sad, isn't it?
Their hearts actually. When I used to work in schools, I learnt this. But if a baby is ignored, their hearts actually weigh less.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that's literally
really sad,
heartbreaking. Sorry, but I just found that so fascinating. It's so fascinating, though, isn't it? That to think that actually that connection,
And I suppose that is that, you know, just literally I put my hand on you there. It's just that feeling, that connection, isn't it? Yeah. So law 4 is what you put out is what you get back, and we sometimes call that the law of attraction, which I absolutely love that, the old manifesting. But the law describes the idea that the energy, intention and attitude we bring into the world tends to return to us. Now I can only say that is absolutely 100% true for me. The more I set my intention on things I want to do, I just get more and more and more of it in some amazing way that I'm blown away by, really.
And that's what you were saying about, I think that's what you were saying.
About
the inner, your inner is reflected in your outer.
And for me it's about what you believe to be possible for you.
Yeah.
And when you shift that perception within you, whoever would have thought 2 or 3 years ago that I'd be sat doing a podcast about honestly, the shifts that have happened for me have been like bam,
well,
bam,
you've
bam.
had a really sharp acceleration.
So I completely agree.
But you have always been doing that stuff, but you were listening to it and developing your mind about it, and also developing your own world.
Yeah. Probably, and it bringing awareness and focus, then just added speed. I think to everything. Yeah.
So I think with this, I know some people say, oh, so you think manifesting things just appear? Well, I'm under no illusion that, like for example, if it's a car you pay for it, I'm not under any illusion about that. I don't believe that someone just drops a car in your drive. But the point is, I just think the more focus you give, like if you want to if you want to cook something, you look in a cookery book, you find the ingredients, you go to the shop, you buy the ingredients. But it's your intention to make that meal that makes it happen. I made butter chicken on for dinner Sunday. We had some friends over, and it was delicious. Very much hotter. We were all a little bit melting in the moment, but my intention was to create a meal. So I found a cookbook that I loved, and I set it all up. And I think that is the bit people, when they say, "Oh, you just manifest it," well, yeah, but you create it.
I think it's focus. For me. It's definitely focus, because you can be For example, ballet this morning. Ballet this morning in the class. Oh, I'm getting old. Oh, I can't do this. Oh,
this is your thoughts, is it?
No. This is me listening to what people say out loud. Oh, this is. I can't do this because I'm okay doing this part, but then when we come to the jumps, I can't follow. Blah blah blah. And they say it out loud, and then blow me comes to the exercise, and they can't do it. Well. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to work that one out.
This is my understanding of this, like the saying it out loud, but as a frequency. So I understand energy as moving particles, and that I always think of, the metronome. Are they called metronomes?
Metronome, the things that keep time when you're playing.
Yeah, but you can put them all out of sync, and then they all coincide, don't they? They all start going at exactly the same time, and I see manifestation as being like that. So it's like when you're in that vibration, and you're even physically saying it, so you're even
but that's where your focus is going.
Your
focus is going
so
on, I can't do
and
this,
in those words are that frequency, and so everything around is just matching that frequency. Okay, so you can't do it. Okay, so you won't be able to do it. And then when you can shift that frequency, which is really empowering as well. Like if you think, okay, I think I mentioned before, it's about the skier who said, well, how empowering is that? If I can think these thoughts and I can say these things, then surely I can make this happen. And if you imagine all of the little cells all vibrating together, and then they're going, oh, okay, and then they put you on this frequency, and maybe you get to this frequency, and who knows?
Because I think,
that's my understanding.
One of the ladies on the retreat, she said to take her mum, didn't she, for a health checkup. And she said her mum said, I don't like that nurse, I don't get on with her. So this, I can't remember her name, not that's relevant. I said, so it's Sarah. So Sarah thought, I'm going to take my mum there, but I'm not going to buy into that. Mum doesn't get on with this nurse. Anyway, so she met the nurse. She said, oh, chit chat, lovely. She said, did they start talking about some commonality or something? But all of a sudden, everything was fine, and the mum was fine. And I said, well, she was nice today, wasn't she? So the mum's attitude hadn't changed, but Sarah decided that was going to be fine.
And we must talk about Sarah's story, the tree. Do you remember the tree story? So.
Oh yeah, no, what was her name? It wasn't Sarah. Or was it? There was a Sarah, a Sarah, and a Sandra.
Oh wow,
that was Sarah. Yes, but that wasn't Sarah with the mum. That was a different lady. But no, Sarah with the tree. Yes.
So Sarah had a tree in her village, and she talked about her village as if I have
a bit like the ones at Coltishall, is how I imagine them.
I have some image in mind of a lovely little cutesy village. I don't know if it is or not, but there was a particular tree that she's very fond of that she walks past every day on her walk. It's on her local route. And she knows that she loves this tree. And did she say she sometimes?
She used to hug it and talk to it.
She was a very straightforward, lovely, practical lady, I thought. But, so when she came up with the tree story, we were like, intrigued. And one day she approached the tree and it had a number with fluorescent paint on it. And she was like, oh no.
That's the number of the chop.
The tree's doomed. So instead of, she got on Facebook, didn't she?
Which is not normally, she'd had a profile, but she wouldn't normally particularly be active on there, which made it more amazing.
And she just said, this is happening, I'm going to be at this tree at a certain time, and if any of you would like to come.
I think she was trying to get a campaign going, and they said you have to have numbers, it can't just be you that doesn't want the tree chopped down. So she tried to gather numbers, I think was the...
And she had no idea how she was going to gather the numbers, and she literally just put it on Facebook. And I think it was the same day, wasn't it? It was the same day.
It was the same day, because someone was going to come, some official person was coming.
And she was completely, they were inundated with people. She said there were at least 40 people, and the chap turns up and the tree's fine.
Because everyone loved this tree as it goes, didn't it? And she had no idea that everyone had different names for it, didn't they? Hello, Pip, we got little Pip, look. They had different names for the tree, and everyone had stories. And I think some people, they even said that their grandchildren, or they'd grown up with a tree, now they measure their grandchildren on the tree as well, don't they?
I think Pip might want a tree.
You want a tree, Pip? You've seen that, haven't you? So the law of attraction is I wanted a dog, and then I got one. I'd love a little Pip. Yeah, so that was a great story, and it's about she put her focus on wanting to see if other people could save the tree as well. She wasn't just trying to do it on her own, wasn't it? And that was a great
she didn't know how it was going to turn out, did she?
She wasn't attached to the outcome. That's the thing about manifestations. You can't say I definitely wanted to be like this, because the universe might say, well, actually I've got this, like me wanting my retreat. It's going, yeah, but we've got something else for you. So, but also changing the vibration from. I kept saying, I wonder why I've moved around. I don't think I said I didn't know why. I kept saying, I wonder why. And then the wonder has become this wonderful thing. That's what I want to say about that. So that's your law 4. And law 5 is everything changes except the 5 laws. And this blows your mind. It's this full circle, isn't it? So change is constant. Life is always moving, evolving and shifting. And I had some big stickers made on, they actually went on my fridge, I put on my car when I never got that far. And it said change is the only constant. And I just believe that so much. So change is a natural part of life. Seasons shift, circumstances evolve, and we ourselves grow and transform through experience. Although change can sometimes feel uncertain, it often brings opportunities for learning, resilience and deeper understanding. Many people discover new strengths and directions during times of change, revealing possibilities that may not have been visible before. And then I asked the question, what changes in your life have led to unexpected growth? Well, I suppose for you can say, decide to do your courses, couldn't you?
like literally just going along for a day of a tarot course. That pretty much changed my path. Quite significantly.
Why did you go? Do you remember why you went?
You and your mum went. Was it your mum who decided on it and then said, "Could you come?" Didn't she?
Yeah, because I'd been doing a little course with yoga, and I think this is also very relevant to yoga. But I've been doing this course, and Alex Howarth had said, "Please, you could use a tarot card as a prompt." So I was like, okay, maybe I'll give that a go. And then I thought, actually, Mum used to read tarot years ago, and so I got in touch with my mum and asked her if she still had her cards and what cards, because if anyone's ever shopped for tarot cards, you're just overwhelmed.
It's overwhelming, isn't it?
So Mum was like, start with the Rider-Waite and go from there. So I started just going through myself, and Mum was like, funnily enough, I've really wanted to do it again myself as well. And then she got in touch with you, and she liked that you responded really quickly, and I have been here ever since.
So you drank the tea, as they say.
But for me, this like from a yoga perspective, it's very much about non-attachment to how things are, and us as humans, again, we love like these attachments, and we will say things like, well, I've always done it that way, or and there are a lot of people who are quite change resistant. Change resistant.
But actually, it's
happening anyway.
It happens always.
But I think, like, when you talk about non-attachment in yoga, it talks about a middle path, a moderation, so that you don't get flung to the depths and to the highs and the lows. If you're quite considered and take the middle path, then you can accept the changes with more flow, with more ease, I suppose. So I would consider that.
Not being attached to the outcome. Yes, it's a difficult one, I guess, for some people, because they keep saying, when is it happening, when is it coming?
But wouldn't you say it's difficult because they say it's difficult?
Definitely, yes. That is one of those things.
I would say I spend a lot of time trying to, like, everybody spends a lot of energy and a lot of time trying to have life the way they want it. You're either trying to control an outcome, or you're trying to repeat conditions so that you can have what you thought what you really loved back again, or you're trying to avoid stuff that, oh God, that happened in the past, I don't want that to happen again. All of that energy, and the fact is, life, like these laws say, you can't escape it. Life is gonna do whatever it wants, and it's gonna happen. Like, the only people that don't have problems are dead people.
And they love being dead. They say, don't know why you struggle to live. That's great up here.
Every time a problem comes up, it's like, something's wrong with my life. It's like, no, you're just alive. You're just alive.
You talk about Peter Crone, so I caught just a clip of him on Instagram this morning. I think he's talking to Claudia.
That's a very
Would
powerful...
that be her?
Yeah, she has a very powerful podcast.
Yeah, so she said that people annoy her when they point things out, and he says, just say thank you. It's a mirror, it's showing you something that's unresolved in you. She said, so how do I resolve it? He said, just notice that that's what it is. And I thought, that makes it so easy, doesn't it? Everything got to resolve it.
Taking the charge out of things. Like, someone on the retreat I was sitting next to, I'm sorry, I can't credit who you were, said it's all just atoms.
Oh yes.
It's all atoms. The problem is, we prefer certain atoms to other atoms, and that comes into the non-attachment. It's like, you can't have it the way you want it. You can create what you want by focusing what you want, but life will just, and you've got the power. You've got the power to overcome and get what you want out of situations. The power is not in life.
That is your attachment to the outcome that I think changes that. And I suppose I always think, I've read it somewhere, like the ocean is always the ocean, but sometimes they're little tiny waves, other times it's big and crashing, but it's still the ocean. And I suppose that what they're saying is, you're always you, but depending how you want to be. So we liked the exercise, and it felt very wordy, and I was quite obviously looking for confirmation. You really liked it, and some other lady really liked it as well, because it was quite a wordy thing, wasn't it? But I think
everybody had really good stories, and it was in
the stories,
that the law came alive. Yeah, like we kind of clarified what we thought that law meant. Yeah. My dog's getting quite.
So if anyone does want that information, if you message me, I'm happy to send it by some means. I'm not attached to that. That's all good. Yeah. So we could talk about. I keep knocking it over. I don't know what time we started.
About 20 past.
Oh, what? 20 past 12? Have we done the hour then?
Yep.
Oh no. Should we say that for another time then?
You can just mention that at the end of the exercise.
So at the end of the exercise, the point of doing it was to find out, and we also did a cultivation circle about what happy meant. And the idea of doing it all was to find out what it was that made each person happy. And I think they all came to some commonality about community. I think that was what we devised. But I decided that we'd have these little, you could stick it, maybe you can stand it next to the card, maybe that might look a bit. So it's coconut oil. And then I had some.
That's the answer to the universe, isn't it?
Coconut oil. I use it for everything. Dry hands, dry skin, make everything. So, and then I had these chakra crystals that were pre-blended, but I didn't allow people to smell them because they had to do their own intuition. So the thing is though, I do like that smell, don't like that smell, but maybe the smell you don't like is the one that you need, was my thing. Mm-hmm. So everyone just doused to see which chakra it needed. Then I put some drops of the chakra essence in there. Sadly, I didn't ask before, but one lady couldn't have smells, so I bought her a neutral bottle the next day. But that aside, and then they chose 3 crystals or 4, but again bottles without labels on them. And I said to anyone, don't say what you think they are, what they mean, or what chakras they're for, because it's that bias that our mind goes, oh, I want some rose quartz because it will make me feel better. No, we're not going to do that. So they then took these 3 or 4 crystals out, then they held the crystal over the bottle with a dowser, and they channeled the frequency of the crystals into the oil. So also, I think, bit I've forgotten, they made 3 statements, I think, wasn't it, about how they want their happiness?
We looked at, I mean, the whole exercise funneled into looking at what
made us happy, the only purpose of life. So basically they were sort of thinking of those phrases. Then we did a meditation where they held the bottle, infusing those 3 statements, and then every time that we've all got Harriet's happiness on, whenever you use the oil, the idea was that it reminded you of what it was that you thought made you happy, and that was the purpose of that. So I liked it. It was good, yes. Yeah. So we've rambled, have we? So we've got a little list of
we've got quite a long list.
Events coming up, so to try and encompass them all. So Jae and I have a Gong Bath, Coltishall, Horstead, isn't it?
It's Horstead, Tithe.
Yeah, Thursday the 9th of April. These guys have their Reiki and Gong Bath, or do you call it sound bath? Do you call it Gong
Sound
bath?
And Reiki.
Sound and Reiki bath on Monday the 13th at St Lawrence Centre.
In South Walsham.
In South Walsham, which is 3 minutes from me, my great joy that I just drive around the corner. And then you have a Reset and Revive Day on April the 16th, which is a Thursday, and that's going to be here at Harriets house. Anything you want to just say about that? I'll say briefly. I'll get the bell.
So at a Reset Revive, you will have an opportunity to try out cold dip.
Oh yeah.
You will use the sauna. I will be taking you through a mini facial with the Neil Shard products as well, Neil Shard Organics. And we will also have a sound and Reiki bath at the end. Harriet will be cooking.
Beautiful food.
And we always start with a lovely introduction around the kitchen table using some cards and...
Yeah, I think that's the essence, isn't it? Going back to community. And also people get a chance to connect to themselves and work out where they're at and where they'd like to be and reflect upon that.
So you can book in with that. That's on those 2 websites, We should put links in the thing. I'll try.
In the show notes. Well, I didn't want to put that on you for the 5 laws.
I'll try.
You're pretty good at this
I'll
stuff.
try. So then Jae and I have a floating Gong Bath on the 18th of April. It's a Saturday. There's 4:30 and 6:30 sessions. You can book in on that. We do need you to book on because we have to know if you're coming or not. And then on the 25th of April at Acle Community Centre, I'm running my first Mind, Body and Spirit show there. Pippa's coming, you're going to be doing Reiki and crystals, aren't you?
Yeah, crystal healing.
I'm looking forward to that. It's literally not far from me. And then on the 26th of April, I have a Finding Your Happiness workshop at mine, where we'll be exploring what makes you happy, no doubt talking a bit about that. But also we're going to be making the little elixirs, if anyone's interested in that. And so I could walk down to our nature sanctuary. I've called it a bird sanctuary. I do realise it's not a bird sanctuary, but there are birds there. So that's me in my head. But yeah, that's a day. And I'm also doing that on the Wednesday 29th. So if you don't want to come up a weekend, but there are places left for that. And I'm not cooking, but I'm hoping to get the pub or the cafe that's open in Ranworth to get the food from there. Nice. So that's what we've got coming up. But yes, hope you've enjoyed today. We have rambled, ladies, and we've drunk lots of tea.
We have drunk lots of tea.
And Pippa, Pip, the dog Pip, was all right. It's very confusing.
She's about to not be all right, I think.
Bless her. But yeah, so share, like, tell us what you think and what you don't think. We'll try and catch up with your comments. And now I've got to press the end screen as our tech guy left us with. So bye for now. We hope you enjoyed this episode. We'd love you to get in touch with us. Our email address is kitchentablechat88@gmail.com. We welcome your questions or even suggestions for future topics. Also, please share this episode with those that you think may be interested. Thank you for listening. Until next time.